The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official post-fight review for Brandun Lee versus Samuel Teah. And Brandun Lee, he's done it again. Brandun Lee has turned in a sensational performance, but this time he's done it in what really was the first true step up fight in his career. You know, Brandun Lee's a guy that's been fighting these. He's a 21-year-old prospect, a lot of talent, a lot of promise. You know, in that 140-pound division. You know, he's had 22 fights now in the professional ranks of boxing. With that knockout in the third round of Samuel Teah, he's now 22-0 with 20 KOs. But still, you can still say very green, very young, and there's still a lot to learn and a lot more to present to one Brandun Lee. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you look at who he's fought. Like, the first time I remember seeing this guy fight was last March around this time when he fought Camilo Prieto, and he had it was a defensive masterclass where he barely got hit and then scored a knockout. Very heavy-handed, very thoughtful fighter. You know, someone who's very relaxed in there, and that's what we saw. You know, when he fought a guy in Samuel Teah, if you guys don't know anything about Samuel Teah is a fighter that, you know, he's one of those fighters, those rugged fighters that he picked up boxing later on in life. He was 19 years old. Picked up boxing later on in his life when he was 19 years old, and has made a good career for himself. And he's upset and beaten some very good prospects along the way. You know, most notably, he beat O'Shaquie Foster in O'Shaquie Foster's 9th professional fight. And O'Shaquie Foster is a top 15 fighter in the 130-pound division. He's someone that's going to be fighting for world titles or be in contention to fight for world titles in the near future. You know, this is the same O'Shaquie Foster that's beaten Kenneth Sims Jr. And Sonny Fredrickson. So he's beaten some fighters that had promise, that were young, upcoming prospects. And he's not someone to be taken lightly or to be messed with. And so even though Brandun Lee's had 21 fights, this represented the first step up in his career. And what did he do? What did our main man Brandun Lee do? He folded that boy up like a blue steel chair, like The Rock, like Chris Jericho. It was easy work for Brandun Lee. You know, we saw an excellent blend of skills, fundamentals, just looseness, fluidity from Brandun Lee. We saw, you know, the defense, the ability to slip punches, the ability to lead with the jab, the ability to land them, to throw and land flush those grown man punches that we talk about here on True School Sports. He was landing some heavy leather all over Samuel Teah, and not only did he pass his first test as far as boxing goes in the professional ranks, but he's passed it with flying colors. He delivered a highlight reel knockout that I think, you know, however long he decides to box, when they show you a highlight clip of Brandun Lee from this point forward, this knockout will be included in that highlight reel. I mean, they were in an exchange. Samuel Teah was very, very confident in his abilities to back Brandun Lee up. That was the game plan from what he said, to back Brandun Lee up. And, you know, he threw a right hand. Brandun Lee slipped it. Brandun Lee kind of framed the punch. And then as Samuel Teah went to go throw another punch, he just kind of countered him over the top with the right hand. Boom! And then boom. Samuel Teah got clipped really badly, and you knew the minute he got hit that this fight was over, that was all she wrote, and that you could start your cars, drive to your nearest McDonald's, pick your wife, your kids, Oreo McFlurry, and go home, because the fight was over. That's the kind of punch that it was, and it was just really encouraging, man. And I think, like, look, for me, I know who Brandun Lee is, but this is my first time making a video about him, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is where I think he can, at least for me, I can't speak for the rest of the boxing world, but at least for Brandon Taylor on True School Sports, the untouchable True School Sports Empire, I have to pay more attention to Brandun Lee, because when you fight a guy like Samuel Teah, who has beaten guys like Kenneth Sims Jr., O'Shaquie Foster, Sonny Fredrickson, and really derail the momentum of their careers, and you go in there and you fight that same guy, and you make it look easy, all I can do is respect you. All I can do is tip my cap to you. And when you factor in he's 21 years old, when you factor in that he got him out of there in 3 rounds, and the way he did it, you know, this kid has, as far as his ceiling goes, I think just based off that and the Camilo Prieto fight last year when I watched him, He's got a high ceiling. This kid has a high ceiling in the 140-pound division, and I'm looking at Brandun Lee on a fight-by-fight basis, how he's developing, and I don't want to crown a guy too early because you never want to do that, but he's got the kind of skill set and ability that to where if he puts it all together, if he maximizes and self-actualizes every last bit of potential that he has in his system, you know, we're looking at a guy that could be future world champion. I really believe that because he's a thinker in there. He's not just a hard puncher, and he's not, you know, just throwing punches hard, but he's a thinker. You know, he's loose, he's fluid, and he's got TNT in both hands with boxing skills to boot. So you can't do anything but be excited for a kid like that. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all missed this card, I know it was a middle of the week card, and it's a SHOBOX card, so sometimes these SHOBOX cards are hit or miss, but this one was a straight hit. And Brandun Lee, you know, on True School Sports, we will definitely be following Brandun Lee a lot more closely because he has definitely got my attention, and he's gonna keep it because he showed me defensive mastery in the Camilo Prieto fight. He shows me the ability to knock out a very, very durable fighter in 3 rounds at the age of 21. Samuel Teah had never been dropped before. I've seen him in tough fights. I've seen him fight some good fighters, but never been dropped like that before. So it really says something about Brandun Lee and his development and where he's heading in his future. So shout out to the kid, man. He's doing his thing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Brandun Lee scores the 3rd round knockout over Tsunami Samuel Teah. And he puts the box small. I notice that, hey, I am here to make a mark. Hey, I am in this 140-pound division, and you got to pay attention to me. And that's what we're going to do here on True School Sports. So shout out to Brandun Lee. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official Misael Lopez versus Jordan White, post-fight review. And the result of the fight is that Misael Lopez gets stopped in the 6th round and takes the first loss of his professional career against Jordan White. And this was a fight between Misael Lopez and Jordan White that was very entertaining to watch. It literally just ended at the time I'm shooting this video. It was the co-main event on the SHOBOX card for this Thursday, or Wednesday, I should say, this Wednesday. And you know, when you look at both these fighters, right? You know, Misael Lopez is a fighter that was coming into this fight with a lot of confidence. You know, he had that really good win a couple years ago against James Crunch Time Wilkins on SHOBOX, and he's put together some good wins since then. And he was coming into this fight tonight against a fighter in Jordan White, who, when we look at Jordan White, amateur-wise, you know, he has a good foundation in boxing. You know, 9-time national champion, all that good stuff. You know, he fought Adam Lopez early in Adam Lopez's career, gave him a good fight, came up a little bit short. And since that Adam Lopez fight all the way back in, what was that, like 2017, 2016, he hasn't lost. He's been on about a 6-fight win streak or so, something like that. So it was a good matchup for this stage of both these guys' careers. And as for how the fight played out, I mean, early on, you know, I thought in the first like 3 rounds of the fight, you know, Jordan White was really doing a good job of being the more precise puncher, the crisper puncher, getting his punches from point A to point B quicker to land on Misael Lopez. And a couple of these punches early on in the fight, they definitely got Lopez's attention. They definitely hurt him, and they definitely were a factor early on. And it was looking like, you know, early on that Jordan White was on his way to really putting an exclamation point on the fight early. But then, you know, round 4 and round 5, Misael Lopez, you saw the heart and determination of Misael Lopez really begin to come together. He began to close that gap. He began to work his way on the inside, throwing hard shots to the body, hard shots to the head, you know. And then came the 6th round, you know, the round in which the fight ultimately ended. And this was such an interesting round because in the early stages of this round, you had Jordan White throwing these punches at Misael Lopez. Misael Lopez is slipping on, making a miss. You know, he's even taunting Jordan White. But credit to Jordan White. He stayed composed. He stayed focused on the task at hand. And ultimately, he found the right shots. He picked the right shots. And he hurt Misael Lopez multiple times in the 6th round. And he stopped Misael Lopez in the 6th round. So it was one of those fights where, just as one fighter looks like he's going in confidence, looks like he's going to be on his way to another victory, looks like he's going to be, improving as the rounds go on, the other fighter, who seems to be losing momentum, flips the switch. My bad. Flips the switch and finds the right shots, picks the right shots to get him out of there. So that's a big win for Jordan White. He's been looking for a win like that in his career. I would say thus far in his career, that's the best win of his career over Misael Lopez. And I'm looking for him to potentially be in some bigger fights on SHOBOX in the future, because he deserves them. He deserves to be on TV again after a performance like that. He showed the ability to counterpunch. He showed himself to be a precise puncher, a fighter with good technical skills, and a fighter that, sometimes when you get a fighter like Jordan White, these guys like him that have 9 national championships and all this stuff, they have this habit to get real cute and pick their shots, and they don't throw no grown man punches. But he has the good things of being an amateur. He has those technical skills to set up and move and change levels and all that good stuff. But then when it comes time to throw those grown man punches and put a hurting on your opponent, he knows how to do that as well. So I was really impressed with the poise, with the composure of Jordan White, the confidence of Jordan White. And he beat a good fighter in there, Misael Lopez. I don't think this is a bad fight for Misael Lopez. He's gonna come back. I think he's gonna get better from this, and I do think in the future he'll be a contender at 130. He showed the ability to not have his spirit broken. He kept coming forward, throwing hard, heavy shots, and just being in this guy's chest from round 1 to round 6 when the fight got stopped. So it's just one of those nights where the guy who landed the more telling shots won. But it doesn't mean that Misael Lopez can't come back and become a contender in the division. So just a good co-main event on SHOBOX. If you missed it, you missed a great fight. But shout out to Jordan White. He got it done. Misael Lopez suffers the first loss of his professional career. Jordan White moves to 11-1 as he looks to continue his climb up the 130-pound ranking. So that's my little synopsis on the fight. By the way, welcome to my new YouTube set. I hope you guys like it. Got the Mike Tyson punch out in the background. But leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.